What is going on, guys? Samuel One World from Samuel One Reviews here, and welcome to my latest top 10 list. And this list, I'm going to discuss my top 10 favorite moments from the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy. And I'm not going to be doing this list alone, actually, as I got a very special guest here. This is someone who has always been very supportive of my channel, always been supportive of me in general, and his name is Amauri Poyntz. Welcome to my channel, Amauri.
Hey, it's good to be here, Samuel. Thank you so much for inviting me on here.
Yep. You excited to talk about some How to Train Your Dragon?
Yeah, I sure am, because I've been a fan of this movie since 2010, and I'm eager to see all of this. Either to list my top 10 movies, I mean.
Awesome. So I'm pretty voice that he's going to go first and go towards number 10, 10, 9, 9, 8, 8, sound like you, 7, sound like you on Jill, and of course, number 1, we get some honorable mentions, and anyways, nipping on a bush, let's go to the list. Amauri, what is your 10 favorite moment in the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy?
I'm listening to my first 10, number 10, right?
Yeah.
All right. My number 10 is actually a pretty good one. Was when Stoic saw Valka again in How to Train Your Dragon 2. I was tearing up on that moment. Because it was like husband and wife reuniting again, and I could see, like, after Stoic saw her, he was legit shocked and wanted to tear up. And after that, I was crying. I was legit crying because it was great seeing these two reunite after 20 long years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also that special dance that they did, that was just perfect. It was just like a very special dance.
Awesome. You'll definitely see both of those moments definitely high up on my list, just letting you know. But coming in number 10 for me is from the first How to Train Your Dragon. And that's the moment where we see Astra, Astra confronts Hiccup about everything, and then she goes for a ride with Toothless in the first one.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was a perfect moment.
Yeah,
that was a perfect moment.
Yeah, it was in terms of design, in terms of emotion, in terms of everything. That scene is amazing. You're like, oh, every time I see that moment, it's pretty much just a beautiful moment in general. It's demonstrated a lot of Astra and Hiccup's relationship and a lot of Toothless in general and how he is, and it's just a beautiful moment in general. That's basically all I can say about it. So, yeah. What's your number 9?
My number 9 is when, let's see, we actually saw the Light Fury for the first time. I actually was happy that Toothless was not the only one out of his kind left. And that was just a sweet moment. And she, when I saw her disappear, I was blown away. That must mean, it made me think, could Toothless do the same thing?
Yeah.
And it made me think that. Can Toothless do the same thing? Can he disappear too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And speaking of the White Fury, number 9 is the fight sequence with Toothless and the White Fury and How to Dragon in the World.
Wait, they had a fight? When?
The flight sequence.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, like, just for example, of showing emotion without saying anything. Like, you can really feel that Toothless really wants to be with him and all that. You can tell if you see him and seeing them like fly over together, and a lot of these sequences is just beautiful and vibrant to look at. Like, this is definitely one of the sequences which shows the animation in this movie is just breathtaking, and that's my best way to describe this sequence is how breathtaking and beautiful. Like, I know I'm probably saying a lot, but a lot of these moments are beautiful and breathtaking. I mean, there's one reason why this trilogy is so beloved, but yeah, that fight sequence with Toothless and the White Fury in the world, that's an amazing sequence.
Yeah, so it sure was. It proved that they were going to be together.
Now, what's your number 8, man?
My number 8 is, well, at the beginning of How to Train Your Dragon 2, we get to see Hiccup using this flight suit. That was just hands down the best scene of all time because it it made me feel like I was a part of the movie. It made me feel like I was a part of the movie. And when Hiccup started flying in that flight suit, I was blown away by it. I loved that special scene because it proved like over the 5 years that he's really grown. He's really grown and is actually turning into a great young man.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's a great sequence. And number for me is the opening sequence, not the How to Train Your Dragon 2, but How to Train Your Dragon in the Hidden World.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, this is definitely also one of the funniest sequences, but it doesn't just really a lot more to come during this movie in terms of emotion, in terms of what to expect going forward. Like, it's just a fun, entertaining, and highly hilarious sequence. Like, I remember laughing my ass off. I was like, oh, like, I'm sure you know what moments I'm talking about, but man, a lot of moments I was really laughing my ass off. But
I like it.
But it really does demonstrate a lot of what's to come for this movie in terms of emotion, in terms of beauty, in terms of, like, what's to come for these characters. That's basically all I'm going to say about the sequence. Like, pretty much any of the opening sequences of these franchises could have made these lists onto, but I had to pick one, and I ended up going with the one in the world.
Yeah, I love their dragon scale suits. That really was interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you could tell they really put effort into those suits. Yeah.
Definitely so. Again, that's my number 8. What's your number 7?
My number 7 is when Toothless was drawing, like, I think a picture of Hiccup in the sand. This was in How to Train Your Dragon 1.
Oh,
and
yeah.
when Hiccup was getting closer, Toothless allowed Hiccup to touch him. That was just one of those majestic moments that really made the first movie worthwhile. It proved that it was going to be the start of a new beginning in the How to Train Your Dragon franchise.
Yeah, I remember them. That was great. But the coming number 7 for me is the first time we actually see Hiccup's mom, and she feels like she'll take off a mask, and then she feels like what happens to her at the time. Like,
oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh yeah,
that was a good thing.
The first thing is kind of like going like, and then she touches Hiccup's like, Hiccup? And then she's like, am I supposed to know you? Not supposed to. But a mother never forgets.
Oh yes, that was just chill. That put chills down my spine.
Yeah, and it's also one time where she ends up feeling what happened to her while she's been gone for so long, and you can't help but be emotional when that happens. Like, especially when the dragon was going like, oh, probably high Hiccup, he was like, and I was like, like, man, it's hard not to feel emotion during those moments.
Yeah, exactly. But she thought it would have been safer for her to be away for Hiccup and Stoic's sake.
Yeah.
She was doing what she thought was right. What she thought was right for her family.
Yeah, that makes it kind of less sense when you think about it. But that's my number 7. What's your number 6, man?
My number 6 was practically the near ending of How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. It took place a few years where we see Hiccup, and after it, Hiccup with a full-grown beard. And when he is reunited with Toothless again, at first, Toothless didn't recognize him. But as he picked up on his scent, he knew it was Hiccup. And that was one of my favorite scenes, along with Toothless seeing Hiccup and Astrid's kids. But that was just a touching scene for sure, and a good way to end the franchise.
Yeah, you would definitely see that moment way high on my list.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, but anyways, coming in number 6 for me is the Stoic and Valky's singing moment in How to Train Your Dragon 2. Like, you mentioned this earlier in your list.
Yes, I did. I love that scene. That scene.
It's basically one of the most feel-good moments in this entire movie, with just quiet and singing the song, and then there's dancing, then we see Hiccup and the other guy dance like.
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah, it's one of the moments that it's just one of the moments that you can't help but smile when you see it, and that's basically this moment here, and that's
Yeah,
And
and you just want to go. You just want to go along and dance with it. You
yeah,
want to go along and dance with it.
oh, definitely. Yeah, I love me a feel good moment. This was definitely a great feel good moment.
Yeah.
You're right.
And, and now we're on top five. So what's your number five?
My number five was when we in How to Train Your Dragon 1, we actually when we saw Hiccup and his friends roll dragons for the first time, and
Oh, yeah.
when they came in to save the army against that huge dragon, that was one of the best scenes. It proved that dragons and humans can live together in harmony. So that was a pretty good scene.
Oh yeah, that was.
Hmm.
Yeah. And coming number five for me is basically the first time we see the actual hidden world. Like
Oh yes.
like you have Astra going into the hidden world, then we see just the whole thing. Like this is the definition of what
Hmm.
animation. This is a definition of what how animation really has become nowadays, and it's definitely probably one of the most beautiful moment, one of the most beautiful cinematography and shots in the entire franchise. Like you can't help like, oh,
Oh yes.
that was just. I was feeling so much in that sequence when you see them come in, and then the lights and the colors and just how it looks. It's people's definition of beautiful. That's
Yes, it was. It definitely was. It sure as heck was. I loved it.
yeah,
I loved it.
yeah. Same. Like especially. Yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway, what's your number four, man?
My number four is actually a pretty good one. When from How to Train Your Dragon 2, we get to see dragon racing for the
Oh yeah,
first time. The dragon racing, and we get to see like snot snot Snotlout and Fish Legs fight over Rough Nut. I'm like, when did this happen? When did this actually happen? When did those two actually start fighting over Rough Nut? That was kind of weird.
oh yeah.
That was legit weird.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the funniest moments in the franchise.
Yes, it was.
Oh yeah.
That was the,
Anyways, coming in number four for me is the Toothless versus Bill the Beast fight. Basically, the last battle in How to Train Dragon 2.
oh yeah, I remember that. I definitely remember that. That was a good fight.
Oh, it was definitely some of the most tense and some of the most like, oh my god, I felt in the franchise where we see Toothless kind of save Hiccup, then we see him trying to fight to save Hiccup, then we see all the other dragons come in and try and take down this beast. Like, get how it feels like, yes, for half this moment. Like,
Yeah.
I remember feeling that when I first saw this movie, and I still do. Just a triumphant moment, and seeing the beast just and the film go down, it's just so one like, yes.
Oh my god, yes. I enjoyed that moment too. I really did.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. We're already in top three.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so many great moments in this franchise.
I agree. There is. There definitely is.
This really wasn't an easy list to do.
No, it's not. But
Yeah,
still, it was worth. It's worth it. It's still worth it.
yeah, but anyways, what's your number three favorite moment, man?
My number three is actually at the ending of How to Train Your Dragon 1. Is when we see all these dragons living on Berk. It was the start of a new era that Vikings and dragons can live together in harmony, and that was just a pretty good moment. And we finally see Stoic understanding what Hiccup was trying to tell him. He sees that now these dragons are just like us. They're trying to fight to survive.
Oh yeah, that moment.
Hmm.
Yeah, so many moments. Anyways, coming at number three for me is another moment that you mentioned earlier, and that is the union between Stoic and Valka.
Oh yes, yeah. That
Yeah, it's definitely a moment that, yeah, I'm definitely was a definitely be a moment like seeing Stoic comes like, and then Valka's like, I know where you're going to stay, Stoic. Have a big cough this long, why didn't say anything? Like, she kind of knew the fact that Stoic was going to like, yell, scream. That's basically kind of what Stoic does, honestly. I mean,
yes, yes.
in the movies, but he's like, you're as beautiful as the I lost you. Then
That was one of the tear-jerking moments ever in the movie.
yeah,
I cried on that moment. I legit cried.
same here. Actually, same here. It was so beautiful. Like basically how he says it was just beautiful. Just it's hard not thinking about a moment, not cry over just joy.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's just an all around amazing moment, and it's definitely something you don't expect Soak to say or do, but it happened.
Yeah.
Anyways, what's your number two?
My number two is practically one of the most funniest moments in How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World was where Hiccup and Toothless saw the Night Fury, and the Night Fury actually knocked him off of Toothless. I was cracking up to that scene.
Oh
I
yeah.
really was. She probably thought that Hiccup probably kidnapped him, and that's probably why she knocked him off. But I was still laughing at that scene. I was actually laughing at that.
Yeah, I remember that scene. And a lot of my mums in that franchise.
Hmm.
But anyways, coming in number two, we get to one of the most emotionally impactful moments of the franchise, and that's Stoic's death in How to Train Your Dragon 2.
Oh God, yes. I was actually crying on his death. I was bawling my eyes out.
Same, yeah. And what's funny is that it came very unexpected. On saying he's like two flips just being trolled, and it's like hiccup, then
Yeah, I was
and I
thought
was
he
like,
was gonna
no, he's not Stoic, and then he actually dies. Like, oh my god, they actually killed Stoic. No,
yeah, I thought he was gonna come. I just thought he was gonna come back. I thought he was gonna have at least a few last words for Hiccup or
but
something.
but no, and he's just wow, I can't believe they actually killed it. And then Stokes kid that really has come to his own. He definitely has grown a lot between the first one and this movie, and to see him just go like that is pretty emotional and just really
Yes,
beautiful. Oh man,
yes.
getting emotional just thinking about it.
Oh God, yes, same.
And basically seeing like Hiccup and Doctor's reactions to it makes it even more emotional.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. But anyways, before we do get to our favorite moment in the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy, Amari, do you have any honorable mentions?
my honorable mentions are well, when Hiccup said goodbye to Toothless, that was just one of the emotional moments. And like you said before, it was when uh, Hiccup and Toothless took Astrid on that first flight. And what else? The best moment was when in the first movie where Hiccup and Toothless defeated that giant dragon. That was a pretty epic moment.
There was.
And and Toothless saved him. That proved that people and dragons could live in harmony together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now for my my 10 honorable mentions. These are moments I still love, but these are moments that are just so close to make my list, but did not. But here are my 10 honorable mentions. Hiccup Spiral Test, the Red Dragon Death Scene, the opening sequence, I Have No Son from How to Train Dragon 1, the opening sequence and ending sequence in How to Train Dragon 2, the final battle in How to Train Dragon Hidden World,
Yeah.
all the moments we see Hiccup and Tupa's bonding in the How to Train Dragon movie, and lastly, the stoic flashback sequence in How to Train Dragon the Hidden World.
Oh, that was a good one. Those were good ones.
Yeah, these moments I won't stop on my list, but it was barely missed it. But these are still amazing moments. Again, this was easy enough to this, so bear with me.
I'm with you, man.
Yeah.
I'm definitely with you.
So, Mari, what is your favorite moment in the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy?
My top one. This is tricky. I guess my top one was when they found that huge island in How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World to settle down on, and it proved that well they were too exposed on the original Berg, so they had to go into hiding until one day, like Hiccup said, until people and dragons can live together in harmony. And I think that was finding that huge island. It was definitely a good moment. it proved that they wanted to keep hidden for like a while, for at least a few years.
That was a great moment too. So, but anyways,
Mm.
my number one favorite moment in the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy. Like, there's so many moments to choose from, but in the end, speaking of end, my number one is the ending to How to Train Your Dragon in the World.
Oh yeah.
Which moment that you had on your list, and like this is pretty much the perfect definition of how you can end a trilogy. Like, it couldn't have been any more perfect. Like, you'll see Iccup and Astro get married, and seeing them old and the kid, and then seeing seeing Toothless again, where Toothless is very nice in the first, but everything he does, and it's just like it's a moment that you just can't help but feeling so much emotion, especially when you think about the previous movies, like, and how much Iccup has grown throughout this franchise, and how much he gives the bond, and how they haven't seen each other in years. Like, it's so much to take in. I remember being actually. I think I'm actually crying when I saw it at theaters. I just saw it at early screening, but I remember actually crying when this happens. Like, I think my brother Chris was too, and he doesn't cry much in movies at all.
Yeah, it was a pretty emotional scene. It was, and like you said, it's a good way to wrap up a great franchise to this perfect to this perfect franchise that we grew up with since 2010.
And we hope it's a trilogy. Which I'm sure it will be.
Yeah. And it's something that everyone will probably remember forever, especially when they show their kids.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Yeah, that's. But anyways, those are our top 10 favorite moments from the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Feel free to let us know what are your favorite moments in the comment section down below. Alright, man. Amauri, thank you for joining me, and tell us where we can find you, and tell us where we can find you.
Well, you can find me on my YouTube channel. It's my first and last name, Amauri Poyntz. And be sure to check out my channel, subscribe, and everything. And be sure to follow me on the Stardust app at Amauri106 for my latest movie/trailer reaction.
Yeah, again, thank you, man. Have me. Be sure to check out the channel. I will leave a link to it in the description down below. Thank you all so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it. If you haven't already, be sure to like this video. Be sure to share and subscribe. Be sure to follow all of my social media sites, all in the description down below. I am Simon Marvel, and all the views. We both see you guys next time. As always, stay cool, everybody. Peace.
All right. See you guys.
Ba-bum.